What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Thursday. Got a nice 5-game slate here tonight. I got it broken down for you. 6 of my favorite plays, my money 6, 2 pitchers, and 4 of my favorite batters. Last night, really good stuff with our hitters. Chris Davis went deep twice. Mondesi got us 2 stolen bases, had a few hits. He did really well, and Mitch Haniger went deep at the end of the game. So those 3 hitters, really good stuff. Bryce Harper would have been disappointing, also got pulled. So I believe he only had 3 at-bats, which kind of sucked. And Yu Darvish, pretty much a pitch-perfect pitching situation in Chicago, a 20-mile-an-hour winds. Somehow still allowed 2 home runs. And then they pulled him a little bit too early with only like 70-something pitches after allowing 2 kind of infield hits, which really sucked. So figured he would have been a better bet. Also, like one of his 3 runs that he did allow early was because he hit the pitcher with a pitch. So that allowed a 2-run home run. So really kind of tough luck with him, I would say. And also Woodruff had pitched really well, except 1 inning where he allowed 4 runs. And there was a similar situation as Yu Darvish, where he hit a guy and also walked a hitter. So like it was 2 kind of guys got on base for free, and then they allowed 4 runs with a few hits after that. Should have been less than that, I feel like. But all in all, hitters did really well. Pitchers a little bit left to be kind of wanted. I feel like they should have done a little bit better, what sucked. But hopefully we have some better luck with the pitchers here tonight. So go ahead and drop a like on the video if you're enjoying the content. Ready to hopefully win some money here tonight. And let's hop right into it. First guy up, I'm going to go with John Gray here at 9,300. A big pitcher upgrade here. I mean, not pitcher upgrade, a big park upgrade. Going to San Fran from Colorado. Kind of struggled in Colorado against a tough LA lineup last game with only 4.9 DraftKings points, but I think he can get back to his ability like he did against Miami with a lot of strikeouts. Really good stuff across 6.2 innings. And against San Fran, their lineup isn't very scary. They have a few guys that can strike out, and he just has really good stuff, I feel like, when he's on his game. And then San Fran here, great pitcher's park. I think he'll be able to do that. Good K ability last year, around a 25% K rate. And Vegas only has San Fran implied for 3.6 runs. So likes John Gray, good amount. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first pitcher. Then I'm going to go with Nathan Eovaldi. Has really struggled in his first 2 starts. But some tougher lineups so far. Oakland and Seattle has been 2 of the tougher lineups, honestly, in the AL this year so far. Seattle hitting very well. Oakland, a really tough lineup, especially for a guy like Eovaldi, who can kind of not want to go against home run hitters, and more of kind of a ground ball, strikeout kind of guy. So 8,600 here, though, going against Toronto, a much weaker lineup. A team that strikes out a lot, has one of the highest strikeout rates so far in the season. And we got some really good pitching conditions here, with it only being 50 degrees in Boston. Will get colder as the day goes on. Not humid at all. And it's going to be a high air density, meaning that the ball won't carry very well throughout the air. With very thick kind of air, not thin at all. So I like Eovaldi a lot here to bounce back. Showed really good stuff for the Red Sox, especially in Boston and towards the end of the season after he got traded from Tampa Bay. So I think he'll be able to bounce back to that ability. And he has a good shot at getting the win as well. They're big favorites in this game. Nice price tag for a guy with some good stuff at 8,600. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second pitcher. So that leaves us with some good ability to fill it out with some good hitters. With 4,000 remaining for my first hitter, I'm going to go with Acuna here at 5,000. Against a lefty, he showed amazing ability against lefties last year. 293 ISO and a 415 WOBA against them. So really elite kind of splits in that situation. And also Steven Matz, he wasn't great against right-handed batters last year. He allowed 1.6 home runs per 9 to them. And also in Atlanta, some pretty solid hitting conditions. The one kind of downside is that there is some wind blowing in from left field, but it's going to be in the high 70s, and it's going to be really low air density, meaning the air is going to be very thin, so it should carry very well even with that wind blowing in. So at 5,000 here, Acuna, really good upside, has that stolen base ability, has that great power. He went deep his last 2 games against Colorado, and I think he can go deep again here back in Atlanta against Steven Matz. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first hitter. Then I'm going to go with Josh Donaldson, a really big price drop at 3,900 for him. He has been struggling throughout the year so far, but against a lefty here, he's shown great ability against lefties throughout his whole entire career. Like if you look at his price drop Even in Miami, he was up to 4,500, 4,700, and we're getting him at 3,900, a guy in kind of the meat of that order. For Atlanta, they definitely have some big upside against Steven Matz, who can be hit around very well when he's off his game. He's a very up and down pitcher. And I feel like Atlanta could really get to him. So Donaldson, like I mentioned, really good against lefties throughout his career. When he had a fully kind of healthy year in 2017, had a 400 ISO against lefties last year. A little bit banged up, but he's still at a 241 ISO against them. So that kind of shows the kind of power he has. And with those solid kind of hitting conditions here in Atlanta, like I mentioned, a nice pairing with Acuna. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my second guy. Then I'm going to go with Peter Alonso in that same kind of game. At 4,800 here, this guy has amazing power, 5 home runs so far. His numbers are off the charts. Had a huge kind of stretch of games here with 4 home runs, 2 doubles against Washington and Minnesota. And this is another good spot for him going against Kevin Gausman, an okay pitcher. The thing is, he has showed in reverse splits over the last few years. And against a right-handed batter with this much power, I feel like Alonso can really go deep against them, show off some great production. I mean, in 29 at-bats so far this year against right-handed pitchers, he has 7 extra base hits and a 60% hard hit rate so far against them. So he's absolutely crushing the ball. The guy has a ton of raw power. If he can just connect with the one against Gausman here tonight, I think he can easily go deep. And Gausman, he is not a strikeout pitcher. That's kind of been the one thing holding back Pete Alonso, is that he has struck out a good amount. But going against a guy like Gausman, that won't really fool you. Kind of pitching for constant, I think Alonso can definitely get the better of him. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third hitter. Then I'm going to go with Starlin Marte here. Another guy that seems pretty cheap at 3,800. Going against a left-handed pitcher in Jose Quintana that has seen better days. Not the same pitcher. He's off to a terrible start so far this year, allowing a lot of home runs to right-handed batters. And that could easily continue here in Chicago. Going against Marte, a guy that has shown some solid power throughout his career. Last year, pretty good power and really good stolen base ability. He had like 33 stolen bases, so he has that combo, which you love in DraftKings, has stolen base ability and power ability. Quintana is a lefty, so maybe he's a little bit tougher to steal on, but he has given up a decent amount of stolen bases throughout his career, and I could honestly see Quintana not lasting that long. He is a guy that his pitch count can get up pretty high very quickly. So say he goes like 4 or 5 innings, and they go to the bullpen and say it's like a right-handed pitcher, and Marte wants to steal a base, we have that kind of opportunity as well, even after he's not against Quintana. So always take that into account as well. 3,800, really good value for Starlin Marte. I'm not sure why he's so cheap, but again, at the top of the lineup, really good ability with power and speed. We'll definitely take that to the bank. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy. So you got John Gray, Nathan Eovaldi, Pete Alonso, Josh Donaldson, Acuna, and Starlin Marte. So I hope you enjoyed it. Slap a like if you did. We really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hopefully the hitters can get it done for us again here tonight. And then our pitchers can be a little bit more consistent and not beat themselves by hitting batters and then walking guys. That would really suck again. But good luck here tonight. Hope you win some money. We'll see you back here again next time.